War is inevitable.
It's so beautiful that it hurts, just like you guys.
You've made the right choice.
They're on the back line. They're on the like, dude, you are the back line.
Time of Martin come!
So while he's off piddly diddling, Fuzzywuzy's still a little fuzzy-wuzzy on what just happened.
I'm a wizard!
And they just magically disappear sometimes.
Split push!
Victory is ours!
Can you guys hear me? Is this thing on? Test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Split push!
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Split Push. This is episode what number, Yuki?
Something over 2.
Ah, yes.
I think it's like
How about-
61.
Oh, Dan in there with it. We also have my buddy Guy with us here today.
What's up, everybody?
And Beagle Girl is off yonder.
Put her out to pasture.
Smiling and nodding.
Yes. Last minute equipment failure with her earpieces. So, no Beagle tonight. Sorry, folks.
Her ears are,
But
you know, it was really weirdly worded.
sure.
Really reared warded? What?
Yeah, well,
weirdly
okay, I
worded.
couldn't speak English either, so I guess I'm just, yep.
Marriage. Name that movie. But anyway, we do have a special guest with us here today. One of the casters here that you may have heard while watching some of the Exilium games here lately. It's Fuzzywuzy.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How
Was
about
he
yourself?
a bear?
I'm doing good. No, I'm not a bear. No, there's
God, you know,
there's
that's been going through my head all damn day.
there's actually a whole story about the name if you guys want to hear about it, but it's not really crazy.
Well, dude, that's actually how we like to kind of start the show off is, you know, hey, open mic for you. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about yourself, whatever you feel like telling, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever.
Well, yeah, so I got the name Fuzzywuzy because I played a lot of baseball when I was a kid, and I had a flat top, and I looked like SpongeBob because I had buck teeth. I'm not joking you. And there are pictures on the internet. I swear to God, they're around. But yeah, so I got the name because I had a flat top, and on our baseball team we had 8 different Chris's on the team because that's my actual name.
Wow.
So everybody got a nickname. And at first it was Superstar, and then of course someone like rubbed my head and said, "Man, he's so fuzzy, but he doesn't have any hair," because it was like a really short flat top. And immediately everybody just pointed at me and says Fuzzywuzy, and it stuck with me for the rest of my life. So that's how I
do you
got the
end
name.
up with 8 Chris's on a baseball team?
We were all
You
really
said it
good
wasn't
and from
crazy. That's
Texas.
pretty crazy.
Oh,
How's that not the craziest story ever?
from Texas. That explains it. From Texas.
What was really funny though was that whenever the coaches wanted us to get serious, because we were pretty solid, they would just yell, "Chris, get your head in the game," and then all of a sudden you just see 8 people go into a stance, and you're like, "Oh God!"
Which one of us did it?
But yeah, so but besides that, I'm a child actor. I've done a lot of movies and television shows and commercials and blah blah blah. That was a while ago. So now I'm just kind of playing Smite, hanging out with friends, and finishing up college and all that jazz.
Huh. What movies you do? I need to know something now.
So probably the movie that everybody really knows is Walk Hard: The Dewey Cox Story.
Oh God.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was in that movie. I did a lot. I think I did like 2 or 3 songs recorded on the album as well. I was the teenage drummer in the band for the movie. If you guys ever saw the movie.
Oh, I'm going back and watching it.
Oh God.
I'm spinning it up right now.
There are pictures of it on the internet. It's great. It's beautiful.
15 minutes of fame, huh?
Yeah,
basically.
well, I mean, yeah, I was a working
it's
actor.
cool to have shit
Yeah,
like that.
I was a working actor at the age of 10, so it's like I was totally fine with it. It was what I love to do, and now I have a different passion. I still love to act in it because I do actually a lot of voice acting, but I can't say anything that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of that, and it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. But it's not like it's a grind. It's not like a passion anymore, and so I'm kind of like weaning myself off of it and doing something else that's a passion of mine.
Oh, that's why you were onto the god of the theater there.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you now.
I listened to the Bacchus podcast. I think it was 2 weeks ago now, and yeah, it was pretty dope.
Bacchus is crazy.
Far out, man.
Dude, I still, that one time I was playing, my hippie Bacchus, and there was a hippie Bacchus on the other side of the Joust map, and we just kept running into each other, and we would both simultaneously laugh at each other, and then go off in separate directions.
It's a respect. You got to respect your fellow Bacchus mains, right? That's how it goes.
It is how it works.
It is how it works.
Especially
So what
if
do
they
you
have
do
good
these
taste in
days
skins.
there, Fuzzywuzy?
Right now I'm finishing up school. I'm actually training to be a pilot. So I'll be flying dim planes shortly. It's a
High five, man.
thank you. Yeah. So that's
Hey, we
that's
have an airport right out back of our house. Just hop on over.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm already certified to do short field landings. So I'll definitely take you up on that.
That's exactly what it is.
Dude, I keep saying I want to go skydiving. Just pop on by, and when you leave, I'll catch a ride with you.
Catch a ride
for
and
a little bit.
just hop on out. And I'll just throw you out the plane, right?
And you can just land right in front of the house,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
What's
Okay, Dan here is short
back.
bus certified.
There you go.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, of course I am.
There's our Yuki we all know and love. So how games been going this week, folks? How was your match, guys?
We played a game of
Did
Smite
you have
again.
a match? Oh, who did we play?
Pretty much the same basic thing, but we did a lot of things a lot better. Like a lot of.
Yeah.
Oh, we played Monkey Business. That's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
There you
Shout out to
go.
those guys. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, of course.
They gave us a
played really
solid
well,
kicking.
obviously.
Solid kicking.
The first game we was in it we was ahead the first game for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was big to us because that's never happened.
Dude, you had your 30 seconds of glory.
We had our
Exactly.
5 minutes of glory. It lasted 5 minutes, Dad. At least 5 minutes.
All
But
right,
we did it,
maybe.
and that's what's important. And now we just need to extend it to 7 minutes, then 10 minutes, then maybe we'll win a game once.
We'll
It's
get
tough,
there.
man. I keep saying it, but man, it's hard to even say how tough it is without experiencing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole new level because you really have to pay attention, and you really have to learn a lot to really kind of compete with some of the people in the league.
Yeah, and that's a lot of what it is. Again, we're now kind of grinding this one into the dirt, but we're getting incrementally better, which was kind of the expectation.
Yeah, I will say you have.
We barely ever practice, and we never played Conquest before this, so
It's hard. We got a busy schedule, podcast, work, life.
We're adults, damn it. We have
Damn
lives.
it.
That's right.
And then trying to get 5 people lined up.
Right.
It's not always easy as it sounds. But,
Let's see.
hey.
Okay.
Anyway, these
way
are
to
the
go, Dad. You
times.
caused an awkward silence.
Right.
Just
Wait,
my blood pressure just went up a little bit.
Oh, you just get your
Guys have a
feathers
problem.
ruffled quickly. Calm down now.
Mm.
Settle down.
Sorry, I'm still wound up from the last episode. I got panicked and had to clap.
Oh no!
Oh, shit. Dude, let's talk about that. Seriously.
The one time you're not here.
I mean, I give you guys a little bit of room on the leash, and what do you do?
Made the greatest episode of all time.
And it
If
wasn't
that
even
ends up being our
Yuki
most
coming up
viewed, I'm
with the
gonna
bad
be pissed.
idea. Yuki behaved. Yuki was funny. Dude,
Oh, geez, Yuki
your
was
all-around
funny for
alt
once.
joke made me giggle the whole fucking day. That was hilarious.
It was Guy. That was Guy all potty mouthing his way through the podcast.
Well, that's
Oh
to
my
be expected.
God. I was surprised. I was shocked.
We were appalled at you.
You guys left me in charge as the responsible one. That's what.
Yeah, he is the responsible one, which is we didn't really talk about the fact that Guy is the responsible one.
last episode.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah,
So.
you guys are never getting a weekend recording again. Or
But
getting
anyway.
you guys during the week when you're tired.
Yeah. So I'm still working on making the switch to PC. Being old, Beagle's not here to yell at me. Insert that right
wait
about
a second.
there.
I gotta say this. Yuki was an entire day late getting to the show. He was really his fault.
We were supposed to record.
I forgot about that.
I fell asleep in my chair in front of a computer working on a project.
He was
And
literally
woke up
24 hours late.
And then I woke up like 3 hours later.
Yeah. I caught that, and then we're leaving the mountains. I'm like, yeah, there's no way we're getting home, but be able to record by that time. I'm like if we left now, I might be able to, come sliding into my parking spot at 3:00.
Damn, then there wouldn't have been all that clapping going on.
See, it's all your fault.
Instead, I'm
It's all
enjoying
your
the
fault,
nice
Dad.
weather
Now
on
that
a
we look at
nice
it.
drive home, and
Speaking
you guys
of clapping,
are
I just want to
clapping
say
away.
the woohoo on the new On Her skin ruined the skin for me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What the hell kind of woohoo is?
The best kind of woohoo. That's the best BM you could ever give someone, right?
I mean, it was kind of funny because someone typed in chat, it sounds like you're clapping their cheeks because I was woohoo every time I killed somebody.
There you
and
go.
That cracked me up. That literally had me like crying a little bit when he said it. So that was worth it. But at the same time, like, what kind of woohoo is that?
The insulting kind where you just slow clap them.
There you go. Yeah.
Golf clap.
Oh crap!
Oh,
I told
yeah.
Dan that. Dan now know what it means whenever I slow clap. Good job, Dan. You did great.
Of course I did. I got a kill and then I
There
died.
you go, clapping
Ruby's
again.
mad because I died. I shouldn't have done it at all.
Ah, shit. So anyway, moving on. Yeah. I'm trying to learn how to play PC. I'm old. I'm not going to get into details of where my buttons are, but I had this brilliant idea to help out this old mind. Unlike the buttons I'm using don't have any anchor points on them. How the F and the J, have that little bump on them.
Oh no.
So
Yep.
I searched the house and the kids' arts and crafts area till I found little stickers. And then I cut the ends off of toothpicks. Just a very little bitty end, which is harder than you think. It's easy to cut, but they fly. And they just magically disappear sometimes. Actually, the first 5 times it just magically disappeared, no matter how much I tried to cup it and hold it in there and, whatever.
So what I'm hearing is you have to go back to kindergarten and learn how to do arts and crafts again.
But then I stuck them under the sticker and stuck them on some keys and made anchor points. That seemed to work a lot better.
Interesting. I might have to try that.
Because I just get befuddled. I'm so used to the analog controllers for years now that going back to keyboard, I'm just like, if my hand moves a little bit, I'm like, I have no idea what keys I'm on.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I know where my far right key is and my far left key is. So all right, now I'm good.
Yeah, I heard you last night telling Beagle not to mess up your keyboard.
Yeah, I told her not to mess with that shit. It was not easy getting the damn toothpicks, and then even getting that to stick under the sticker and stick to the keyboard without fucking up was interesting. I did waste one sticker.
Gamer arts and crafts with Dirtnap's dad.
Do-it-yourself keyboard alterations.
Hey, you gotta do what works, man. That's all I gotta say. Gotta be serious about this shit. I mean, I do. I take this shit seriously.
Sure.
Yeah, I
Love.
couldn't get out of it. I just went with it.
True love.
There it is. You gotta love a good classic like that. But
Gotcha.
anyway, what any good games out there on your mind, Fuzzywuzy?
Because I'm on Dallas Asylum, we're in the same league that y'all are in, and we're doing good. I mean, we're trying to work out some few kinks here and there, but we're trying our best to win every game, and I think so far we've done so. -1 against Monkey Business, which I think you guys had. You guys played Monkey Business this last week, so yeah. I mean, they're a good team to play against, and
Hyde's a beast.
They, Hyde made me appreciate solo lane to a whole new level because I don't play solo, and that was the first time I played it. It was oof.
A lot of things like pain pills and crying myself to sleep.
Yeah,
shouts out to Hyde because he's been a real help to us this whole week.
But yeah, he is an awesome dude.
Dude, Hyde is great. He's a great person in the community too to have. He's just very very up forth and very like, yeah, I'll definitely help you out and definitely scrim with you guys and like, teach everybody like kind of like some issues that they might have, because I mean he teaches you in the way that he'll show you by killing you what issues you have. And I got the big end of that when I played that Afro in week 1, and that was an ouchie mama. That was an ouchie mama part right there.
Yeah, we have to be careful with that. Like you can't implement that kind of training outside of Smite. Laws tend to get broken. It's really awkward.
Yeah, it really does get awkward, and yeah, you can't do that. But no, man, like Hyde is probably one of the better players in the Exilium solo lane right now. He's the one that brings the fear of God into my soul. But no, I mean, like as a general, yeah, I think there's some really good games out in Classic League, and you never really can expect anything, which is what I really like about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Poor Zombie had to face Hyde this week, and
yeah, man, it's not a fun time going up against him, but and like if you ever need to do like a 5-man scrim where it's just 5 random people, he's always there to show up, and he's always there to like be there to fill for your team or be there to just demolish your solo laner, and then he'll be like, hey, do you want to know like what I did and what you did? And I was like, yeah. So I mean, like we did that a couple times too, and he really helped me out, and it was just really nice to have someone, especially since someone who's like me, who's completely uncomfortable in the solo lane and is still learning the concept of slam face into keyboard to win. Because that's not how I play Smite. I play Smite like I'm an ADC main. I play in the back line. I'm like, I could possibly get a kill here. I might be able, like, I'm calculating things, and it's just like smash face win is a whole different tactic that I haven't learned yet.
It's funny talking about Hyde like this too. That you guys were talking about how you had your 5 minutes of winning. That was until Hyde got online and started rotating.
Oh, he was already online.
You guys started losing.
He was already online. That's when Hyde decided to come out of his lane and grace us with his presence.
Yeah,
that's when Achilles showed up and it was all over with for us.
Yeah, Hyde team fighting is stupid, to say the least. Stupid in a good way, because it's just he controls the team so much.
Yeah,
it's like monkey business is so good with him, and they know it, and they're gonna ride off his coattails, as they should. And it's not like everybody in monkey business is not a great player; they are. But when you just have someone who's just defining as Hyde, kind of like how we have Dishwater. Dishwater's probably one of the best, if not the best, mid laner in Exilium Classic. And sorry guy, I know you had your quadra kill, but but I mean, when the man goes the big old worm in the mid lane and just pops off and goes like 10-0 and 10 or something like that, you just kind of you kind of have to respect him. And then he's God pool is widening, and that's just really impressive to see from split 1 to split 2. So it's when you have a player like that, you ride on them. It's kind of like your quarterback. You buff up the franchise quarterback, and Hyde's definitely the franchise quarterback for monkey business.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. They were all of them played really well. Deco in the middle played really well.
Dokinator's great too. I mean, he's a phenomenal team fighting ADC, to say the least. Like boxing, you can kind of be able to be on par with him, but the second that he's with a team man, it is a completely different person, and it is crazy to see.
Yeah, we'll get there. Like I said, a lot of ours is team calling out targets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting better.
They're rookies. That's all you gotta say. They're rookies. They have their moments of clarity, followed by a lot of moments of not so clarity.
Nate, no, it is crystal clear that we are getting our ass handed to us.
Well, that is, yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
But at this point, I would say they're now at least losing with style.
Well, and the thing is with as a caster perspective, when I look at Split Push, you guys have really good synergy, and you guys are very, very happy to like lose. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's for me, like someone who's as competitive as me, who's been around sports his entire life and everything. It's when you lose, you have to have that mentality of why did I lose, and sit down and be able to watch exactly why you lose. And then you guys getting Bastion as your coach is just going to take that to the next level. And I think that he's going to really pull out. I think he's a good coach for you guys, especially because he's just going to be able to pull out. Even though he says not the Opwash guy, I'm pretty positive he'll let you play the Opwash a couple times. I mean,
we love him, but sometimes this is exactly what happens. Who do you want, guy? I don't know. You're picking Opwash. Okay.
Exactly. Like things will happen eventually.
Honestly, that was one of our better games where a guy was op
Right.
flush, and we protected him pretty well.
Yeah, you guys did. I had like 29,000 damage. I didn't
Yeah,
get
we
any
got to
kills.
work
I
on
only
not
had 4
only.
deaths.
Yeah, we got to work on if we want to go that route, building the team comp around it a little more too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's new. That's new. Okay, guys, we have to think about synergy. What's that? I don't. It's
Wait,
this
I
thing
just
that we're supposed to
synergized with
have.
you?
Wait,
I'm
I'm
outta
used to
here.
playing Assault. What's synergy? What?
That's everybody buying med, right?
Yeah.
That's
Well, the
synergy.
Thanatos on
Right.
the enemy team, everybody buy Bracer and Meditation.
There you go.
That's where the Artemis support became a thing.
That's buying a Heartward and a Sovereignty right off the bat. That's synergy.
If
There you
Murray
go.
was here, he would be
There you go.
calling your name.
Stop your clapping.
It's depressing how much of it when you're not a 5-man in Assault and one of and the random gets a support and picks Heartward or Sovereignty, it brings a tear to your eye.
It does. It really
Oh,
hurts.
yeah.
Does. Dude, it does, like when you're like that third tank that really shouldn't be building support, but you should be building bruiser. And you're like, please, please. And you look up and there it is. Like, oh, yeah. And there you go. You know, bruiser away. Those are the moments. That is true synergy. I'll give you that.
Awkward silence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fine.
I was
That's what
drinking
editing
water.
is for.
Clap 3 times. What?
Oh no, don't do it.
Ah,
Oh no.
No, actually, you know what? You guys don't need to clap when things go wrong because I pretty much catch it because there's usually an awkward silence. And then I listen to what's on either side of it
Yep.
and splice that shit together and get out of it.
There you go.
So-
That's how to do it.
So actually, when awkward silences happen in the podcast, because I'll probably not edit this part out, is that I tend to just sit here and be quiet then, just for fun, because I'm just like, I wonder how long I can let this go.
Oh, I'm the exact same way. I'm a troll. I mean, you ask any person on Dallas Asylum and ask any caster, they'll be like, Fuzzy's a troll. Like, and I'll
That's the
watch
way to
people
live,
suffer
brother.
and laugh.
I mean,
That's the way to live,
the
brother.
play once you get the third enhanced fire giants to back, right?
Don't get me started on that.
Oh, hey, wait a second. You know, we're thinking about not getting started on things. Did we not get started on something that happened this week in a
God.
video or something
Oh,
that I was
God.
supposed to remember to not talk about? I mean, talk about.
Oh no,
I have no
Mhm.
idea. I pay very little attention to the world.
you're giving me flashbacks right now.
So, I mean, you just want to own up, Fuzzy? You just want to own up?
Oh.
You take ownership of it here?
Oh yeah, I'll take full ownership of it. I raged really, really hard. And I'll kind of give you a little backstory. So
All right, well, lay down on the couch and tell us what happened.
okay. So, Odescu is our coach for Dallas Asylum, and he's also the coach for Crash Gang. And those is the Crash Game was playing Gobble, right? And game 1, Crash kind of didn't have a great game. Everybody's got not a great game, and Gobble really took advantage of that, and so they ran the table with them pretty easily. And game 2 was the exact opposite. And then game 3 rolled around, where Crash had a single. I think it was at one point before the first enhanced fire giant. I think they had a 15 or 16k gold lead. And I'm like, all right, it's like if I'm Dallas Asylum, I just push up a lane, take a Phoenix, take a good fight, and you're there. And I don't know what was happening in their comms, and I'll admit right now, I was being an idiot because I think I was in hour 5 or hour 6 of the cast, and I was calling Dean Kingdon an idiot for being on the opposite side, and that's not what he's supposed to be on the opposite side, try to pull the jungler away. But it seemed like there was never any communication with the rest of this team as when he was coming in. So that's why I was saying he's out of position. It's like he's not out of position. It's just no one's following up with him. And that's kind of where the discrepancy happened. But anyway, so they fail on a fire giant push. And I'm like, that happens, move on. It's a Discordia. Discordia's really good at that. Then the second one happens, and the exact same thing happened. And then the third one happens, and I think they just kind of felt defeated that they just couldn't break a Phoenix, and so they backed. And I lost my marbles. Because I get chewed out for that stuff on a daily basis. And when those guys who are supposed to be the next level up do the exact same thing that Dallas did in split 1 and our very first split and our very first game and haven't had that problem since, it just irks me to no end. Especially since it's a premier team who are basically, around the diamond level of Conquest, they should know how to siege, and they should know how to siege well, and they just weren't doing it. And then the 4th Fire Giant, Enhanced Fire Giant happened, and I was raging even more. And then the 5th Enhanced Fire Giant happened, and I gave up on life. I was already tying a rope, and as soon as Gobble wiped the team, I was like, thank God, and just kind of like I was like, it's over. I can go to bed now. It was I think 1:00 in the morning at that point in time.
Oh my goodness!
And we started casting at about 5 in the afternoon. So I mean, it was a long set. So I was just ready to be done.
Seems like the Gobble Gang is doing well up there in that Premier League.
Yeah, well, and I can tell you with the way that a lot of their players play, and they deserve, especially since they're coached by Glacier, and Glacier is a great coach. And I think that with the mindset that he has and the players that he has, I think they deserve to be in the Premier League. Now, don't get me wrong. We as Dallas wanted to play them and beat them in the Classic League to like make a statement. And we scrimmed them, and we went 1-1, which was pretty dope. But we couldn't play the third game, so we couldn't see who the true champion was. But it was a fun time, or it was like a Gobble mix. I think there was like maybe one player that wasn't a part of Gobble at that point. But
we scrimmed them also. It wasn't such a fun time.
Yeah, it was not fun in the least. It was the worst time of my life.
Yeah, well, and you can thank Turkey Master for that. I'm pretty positive. I played a game with him, and he was.
I can thank their entire team for that. They all thanked me. And
I was like, I played a scrim against Turkey Master the other day, man, and he was a 15-0-10 Achilles. And I remember vividly a call that was in our comms. Hey guys, let's give Turkey a triple kill. That was a legit call in our comms, and you know what? He got the triple kill. Like we said, let's give him the triple kill, and I was playing as Cupid, and I'm like pushing up the left side of the map, and I grabbed like 2 towers for it, and I was like, thanks guys, what a great call. And then
what a great call.
5 minutes later,
I live, I farm, you die, I don't care.
5 minutes later, I just see all of a sudden Achilles at a fire giant, and he's just auto attacking me for about 200 an auto. And I'm literally yelling into the mic, Turkey, you don't need to do this. I'm not a problem. And then just that was the laugh that he was having the entire time, because I'm not even juking. I'm just walking in a straight line, like, give me a break, like, let me have this, Turkey. And he's like, nah, man, I'm sorry. And just kept going at it, and it was great. But yeah, the guys at Gobble really deserve to be there. They played really well on their first split out of the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad we didn't have to play a real set against them. That would have been cast. I would have been embarrassed to have been cast on that.
Nah, that would have been the full meme. That would have been 2 games of the full meme.
I literally would have been Erlong support in that, or Erlong carry in that game.
Hey,
that's how bad that game would have been.
Erlong carry, Artemis support.
Come at us. Come at us.
Is the thing is like I'm bad, so there's a difference.
Artemis Trap's doing 15 a tick. Let's go.
Hey. Look, if I get these Artemis traps down, all right?
I'm killing him. That's what I'm doing.
There you go. That's the play.
Keep laughing, Dan. You keep laughing. When I was hot on those traps the other day, it was doing a thing.
Yeah, I mean it was when you were hitting every trap. It was kind of hilarious.
Artemis built with max cooldown and hard to kill is just like rude.
It's annoying
with the CC.
Shit, I can tell you that because I watched it be annoying as shit.
Dan's like, I was annoyed.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, how is he still alive? I'm pissed about this. Fucking die already. You're a stupid hunter playing support. But you just, pig out and walk away. Okay. Fine. Whatever.
Pig out, trap out. Dan's like, I guess I'm gonna go in there and get a kill now.
Yeah, I guess I'm just going to go kill this guy because he overextended on an Artemis support. And it just bugged me to no end. He's like, how is this even working on these?
I think I was playing Jormungandr mid, and he's like yelling, they're on the back line. They're on the... I'm like, dude, you are the back line. Oh, no, wait, I'm the back line. You're the front line. What are you talking about?
Confusing the shit out of everybody.
Right. Like,
I think they were on me, and Yuki was like back there, and he was screaming it, and we all saw Yorm.
Oh yeah, because I got confused.
We all saw Yorm like 2 buffs away, like fighting 3 people, and we're like, oh, well, there's the other back line. That
He's like, they're
back
on the
line's
back
getting his
line. I said, I
end
am the
handed to him.
back line.
You know what was funny is this last match wasn't casted live. So Dirtnap's mom and I decided to, sit back behind Dan and just, quietly watch the game.
Wait, I've got the greatest idea. You and Dirtnap's mom need to cast our game.
Oh my
Dirtnap's
God,
mom would
no.
literally just be flaming us the whole time. I hope you
she
know.
would be tearing you guys apart if you
She would
gave
rip
her a
us a new
voice.
asshole.
Oh, man.
I swear to God,
Because
my
she
mom
literally had to go out to the deck at one point, and I'm like, what's she go outside for? I went out, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I can't be quiet. Did you see how dumb they're being?
I'm telling you, my mom has watched so much Smite and so many Smite videos just from being around me and Dad that literally, she's better than anybody and she's undefeated. That's how we consider her.
Nice. She's the
She's
true
never played,
professional,
but
right?
She's never lost.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And she
it's
never
just
will
like,
because she would, even if she would pick up the PC, man, she would just never lose.
That's awesome.
I swear. She could coach freaking Kabam. I don't know.
I like it.
So smart.
Maybe she needs a coach trifecta.
I'm scared to, I joke with her every now and then, oh, come on, you should learn how to play Smite. But in reality, I say that just to get her to say no and reinforce that she's saying no because I'm scared if she started playing Smite.
She'd be the person that just is immediately Grandmasters 1 first week of playing. Is that what it is?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's those people that log into this game and then they're 2 weeks they're in the SML and then the next year they're SPL players and you're like, your story is what exactly? And you're like, oh, I logged on, played ranked for 2 weeks, and I got
Here we are.
Grandmasters and picked up. That's it.
Yep.
And I'm like, great, good for you, man. Awesome. Well, fuck, man. Shit. Sign me up.
Right? That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I'm fucking 3 years into this, just fucking playing the game. What the hell?
Yeah. I've been playing this game since I was 15. Whenever it came out, really, because I played it right when it came out with my cousin, and then I stopped playing for a little while. Then my cousin was like, yo, we should re-download this game. And I'm like, I guess, all right. Whatever. We stopped playing it, so it can't be that great.
Yeah,
I was right, but I'm
you
still
and Big
playing
Buddy
it.
got hooked on it. Which, by the way, folks, in any movie where you see the big friend and then the little skinny friend, Dirtnap Dan's the little skinny friend, and then he had his big buddy, his high school buddy.
He was my teddy
always
bear,
funny.
bro.
Dude,
in Epic, those bugs in the end where that little one's flying and the big one's holding onto his legs. That was Dan and Big Buddy.
I love that.
That was so.
I
dumb.
actually did give him a piggyback ride once when he weighed about 300 pounds.
Oh, good lord.
But I was a skateboarder for 4 years at the time, so my legs were fucking ready for it.
You had the calves of steel.
He was also not. This is a fucking teenager.
That's true. Yeah,
It makes difference.
he could recover faster.
It does. I can. Yeah, my muscles don't just rip in half like they do now.
Yeah, because you're so old, Dan.
Right.
24, I'm almost dead, baby.
Wow.
Dude, I'm 25, man, and I'm feeling you. I'm feeling the aches already. It's crazy.
Kids these days.
I know,
I got
man.
the aches in my knees.
Yeah, my back
I got
just
the
feels
brachies
weird.
in my back.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why we all just sit on a chair and play Smite instead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who needs exercise when you can exercise the brain and the hands, the hand-eye coordination, right?
Nice fade back to Smite there.
And I play guitar.
Oh,
too,
did we get
so
off
that
track?
helps.
No, not at all.
Wait,
Not at all.
we have a track?
We're chugging along. Chugga, chugga.
Yeah, I
How's he
mean,
going?
we were almost going back to Spaceballs there for a moment, but anyway.
I mean,
When?
why wouldn't you?
Wait, when?
Yeah,
It's a classic.
It's
I don't
classic.
know, man. Right now,
That
when it
movie's
comes to
that
Smite,
movie's
we
older than
ain't
you
found
guys, isn't it?
shit.
It
That
is
movie's
older than
definitely
me.
older than you guys.
Most of the Mel Brooks movies are older than.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen them all. I almost
yeah.
I almost said what in the wild world of sports is going on that cast. I was pretty close, guys. I don't think you realize how bad it was.
Wait. You said you've seen them all. Have you seen Five Chairs?
Yes.
Okay. I gotta make sure. That's not what I wouldn't consider that a great movie.
It's not.
Funny strip.
It's a horrible one, but you
That's-
know,
yeah.
my dad is a huge fan of all those movies, and he sat me down when I had to be 9 or 10, and we watched all of them. I mean, all the way down.
Dude, high five, man.
And my parents raised me right, like raised me up in the '80s like culture and everything like that, to where
Ooh.
I could
As
be
long as it's not 80s music.
some '80s music, but not like all of '80s music, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like I think well, my dad's was a jazz musician, and he
Right.
was really good at it. So I actually grew up listening more to like 20s jazz on a
Yeah.
vinyl record and stuff like that. That was what was fun. But yeah, no, like I watched all those movies with him, and he made me watch all of them, and it was a great time.
Hell yeah.
Well, hey, folks, here's something, a blast from the past. We have a news update for you here from the sports side of things with Smite, featuring our new sportscaster, a previous guest. You may recognize him. It's Majin Bouchard.
And now the news with Channel 4.
All right, guys, here's the news from the mid-season invitational from Smite in Season 6, year 2019. And here we go. Your overall winners for the tournament, the Renegades. The roster, iRaffer for support. Funballer is his dueling partner, playing the hunter, the carry role, I'll call it, since not really a whole lot of hunters being played. Dardes in the middle lane, Cheerio in the jungle, who's had an identity shift from his normal style of play, and Nika, who might be the most improved player in the last 2 to 3 years in any role. It's amazing to see 3 of the players get their first LAN win. Dardes, Cheerio, and Nika, that would be. Of course, iRaffer, 2-time world champion support, and Funballers won a LAN or 2 before. But we'll start at the very beginning. Some of the placements, we had Sanguine advance, we had Simplicity advance, we had Armada advance, and Hype Unit also advance. Now, Armada versus Hype Unit was really fun to watch. Hype Unit could have won game 1 and just kind of threw it. That being said, 2-1 Armada. Sanguine takes out Simplicity. Actually, I'm sorry. Simplicity takes out Sanguine 2-1. Sanguine not having their typical mid laner, Sibby had to be in mid for that game. Their sub was in solo. They're not comfortable with the mid role, so unfortunately, Ferricrick wasn't able to be here at this LAN. Hopefully, at Worlds, that team can be fully together because they can make a run like one of these teams did. We'll find out here in just a moment. And then Simplicity 2-0's Hype Unit, and that was it does sound like the set was. It was actually a pretty fair set. Now here is the first shocker, kind of. Now you got to remember, Armada has some former pros on it. Snoopy in the carry role. You've got Mast in the jungle. Just to name a couple of their players. Armada 2-0's arguably the best team in the Pro League before this tournament during the entire first split. Rival, and it was crazy to see that, but Armada played lights out. And also, speaking of lights out, Splice was able to 2-0 E United, and then we had Dignitas 2-0 Simplicity, and after that, speaking of 2-0s, the Pittsburgh Knights fall to the Renegades 2-0. And then we move to day 4, where Splice versus Armada, the defending world champions, versus an SML team that's making some noise. Well, not so much noise anymore. Splice takes down Armada to move to the finals. As well as moving to the finals, we had Renegades versus Dignitas. Dignitas just got beat hard. 3-0. It was insane to watch. One of the games, which was game 3, I believe, was really close. And for the final game, Renegades versus Splice, defending world champions, versus Viva La Visa. And would you know it, Viva La Visa pulls out the 3-0 sweep, a clean sweep in MSI, 8-0, never dropping a set, nonetheless a game. They played lights out. They were on fire. Now to move on just a little bit, we'll continue to talk about some of the stats. The shortest game was Armada versus Splice, in which Splice won in 18 minutes and 32 seconds. The longest game was Armada versus Hype Unit, which was 45 minutes and 42 seconds. The deadliest game, which has the most kills, was Armada versus Hype Unit. And the mildest game, the game with the least amount of kills, was Renegades versus Splice in Game 3. Other than those stats, the earliest first blood was 32 seconds by Genetics for simplicity. The earliest Gold Fury was by Armada at 8 minutes and 35 seconds. The earliest Fire Giant was 15 minutes and 46 seconds. That was by Splice over United in that game. Earliest Pyromancer was taken by Simplicity at 10 minutes and 14 seconds into the game. And also, they get the earliest tower kill at 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Both of those achievements against Sanguine. The win rate column, by First Blood, 70% of the time they won. First Gold Fury, they won 78% of the time. First Fire Giant, 93% of the time. First Pyromancer, 81% of the time. And First Rubble, taking the first tower down, 75% chance. So if you got a lead early, you were really able to make that kind of snowball in your favor. And here's just a quick overview for the games. There were a total of 84 games played at this LAN, 17 hours full of play. So you're looking at 1,024 minutes and 17 seconds. Total kills, 1,056. 68 gods contested out of the 103 that are available for the LAN. There were 57 Gold Furies slain, of most of which were the standard. The Oni Fury was actually third, having the least amount spawned at 13 compared to the Primal at 18 and 29 or 28 for the regular Gold Fury. Fire Giant slains, enhanced version, 40, sorry. The regular version, 40, and then the enhanced 13. 53 total. 75 Pyromancers were slain, average of 2.2 a game, and 171 towers were destroyed out of the possible 576. You got to keep in mind, that's every tower a part of every single game. Player stats. Most kills are actually go to Netroid. Man played lights out. 39 and 5 KDR, and that's most kills per game. I'm sorry. So you're looking at the kills per game. Followed by Layers and Johnny. So no SPL players seen there. Least deaths, Nika, less than 1 death a game. Dardes, less than 1 death a game. Iraffer, 1 death a game. Maybe there's a theme to why they won here. Most assists per game, Rangu, Inbound, and not Geno. So once again, no SPL player in that category, and the only ones with the SPL category right now are all from Renegades. Highest KDA, Nika at 10.0. This man was on fire. 30 and 6 and 60 assists. Dardes, also on fire. 24 kills, 7 assists, 7 deaths, 65 assists. And then closing out like one more time, Iraffer, see a pattern here. 7 kills, 8 deaths, but 91 freaking assists, man. Then we move on to kill participation. Deathwalker was a part of 92% of his team's kills. Zeros, the same, and also the same for Emilzy. So Pittsburgh Knights taking all those slots there. Highest goal per minute, 10 at 574. Netroid in second at 573. And Cherio at 571. So very good performances out of those players. The most picked gods were Erlong Shen, Kronos, and Naja, all with 17 or 16 picks apiece. The most bans were Freya at 29, AMC at 19, Merlin at 16. The most won gods were Anher, or you can just say Dardes, Zhongqi, and Jingwei, and the most contested were Freya, AMC, Kronos. But that does it. Very fun LAN. I'm really happy to see a team dominate like the Renegades did and go 8-0. And that's it for this week, guys. I'll throw it back to the podcast.
So, who's winning in the leagues these days out of all these teams? You know, we've been talking about a lot of these different teams doing well.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of talk in the Discord today. A I believe He might have been saying Bot G was the number 1 team in the league.
No,
Oh.
no.
That's what I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
No, now Bot G is the number 1, I think, in all of KDA because they played. So, and I can tell you why is they played Gobble Gang and got demolished, and that game was basically just expunged from the records.
Right.
So they basically have played one less game than most everybody else, and I think the 2 teams that are in first place right now are Mobile and Dallas. So those are the 2 teams that are in first, and then Bocce's in third right now. But Mobile has the bye this week, so depending on how we do in Dallas, we can either secure first pretty well, or just kind of sit back and hope and pray that no one else wins any more games.
Speaking of Bot G, it's kind of the battle of the podcast this week.
It is.
The week of recording, at least. Yes. We're actually a week behind because of the holiday.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome, folks.
We're like big podcasts now. We're recording ahead of time.
Hey, there we go.
Bit.
The game's over right now, but just know we're.
I hope everybody had a happy 4th of July weekend. By the
way, guys, what a great way to get your first set win, 2-1. Well done.
So I can't say how we did because
ouch.
Thanks, man. I like that. That's good.
I'm throwing it out into the cosmos because it might happen. You never know. We'll see. Well, obviously, we'll see once the podcast is done how it aged. And don't.
Oh, wait a second.
Don't.
Great. Now
I gotta go back and check that.
He's corrupted, boys.
I might need to edit that out.
No, keep it in. Keep it in. Because you gotta let it play out as the caster's curse is what it has to be. Because that's straight up a caster's curse thing right there. It's like, oh yeah, I think a split push could at least take 1, maybe 2 games out and just.
Then why would you say that about us? We can lose on our own.
But you need the cosmos to help you with it. You got to feel like you can win the game, right?
Oh, I know we can win the game.
Oh, yeah.
We just got to do it.
I usually just feel tired, but sure.
Oh, that's great.
Speaking of winning other things, has anyone checked our fantasy points lately?
Ooh, I have.
I believe Dad's up there all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, isn't he, Guy?
Yeah, he is. But all that matters, though, is Beagle Girl still got to wear that cone of shame.
You know why he's up there.
Pretty sure
How
ain't
often
pretty
does
sure there ain't no coming
periodically
back
she
from
looks
that.
at me and says, I'm not wearing that cone of shame. Just out of the blue, we'll be like, sitting down at lunch, and she'll look over at me, I'm not wearing that cone of shame.
Hey, we were getting her a cone of shame that has hashtag make Beagle swear on it.
Did you guys already? Where did you guys end up in your seedings? Because I was also a Smite fantasy player.
Let's see. So, auto pick Dicey at 980.
Fucking auto pick Dicey. God
Yep.
damn you,
I'm
Dicey.
still mad about that.
That's
Dirtnap
beautiful.
Dan at 959.5.
Nice.
Mine's second.
And third place is Dirtnap's Dad at 927 after starting off in the cellar.
Nice.
Damn.
The comeback queen from the
comeback.
free trade.
There you go.
Yep.
I think I'd prefer Comeback King.
That's Queen.
No, yeah, it's got to be Queen.
Yeah, I think
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of leaning towards the queen myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show y'all. You wait till I pick up this keyboard and figure it out.
I don't know.
I made a move. It didn't work out for me. That's all.
Oh yeah, Guy, you traded and stuff, didn't you? I know my picks
I tried
were
to cheer
solid,
you.
bro.
I thought maybe he
strong.
might pop off, but
I knew my picks were solid. I stayed strong.
Nice. Who did you?
And I'm glad I didn't pick Weekend because I like him as a YouTuber.
There we go. That's a good call. Just because he's a good YouTuber doesn't mean he's a
we
great
love you,
player.
But
I love him and I love him to death, and he's a great player. But I just don't.
I had Sino, and then Sino traded, so I ended up with Scream, and then I didn't really want Scream, so I traded for Cheerio.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a beneficial thing happen when Splice changed their solo lane. That seemed
to
to
Baskin?
pick up for
Oh
me.
yeah, dude. Yeah, Baskin's the best player in the world.
I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Did I just hear that I have Baskin on my team and I didn't even like
it didn't click for you.
like I got Baskin on. I'm like All high five.
You had him for 5 weeks, and it was
Awesome.
beautiful, wasn't it? It was just it was a great time.
It was good times, but I got Aurora too, and then I got Paul, Sam for soccer, and
Yeah.
I forget who offhand.
Yeah, you actually had a
I
pretty
don't know
solid
where
team.
the actual individual rosters are. Who am I missing?
Speaking of Splice, well, that team has been dismantled.
Oh yeah.
Wait, which
Yeah,
one?
that's crazy.
Which what?
Splice.
Splice.
Oh, what? Did they just completely dismantled? What happened? I actually haven't heard
No, they
that.
still got a few. I think Aurora and Cyclone are those the only two members left from last year?
Oh yeah, no, they completely dismantled and like got Venenu and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Splice. I was actually at HRX, and the Splice fam was a lot of fun to watch, and I think that for all the players, they needed to be in their different places, because I think that they were good together, but I think they're individually some of the best players out there, and they just needed to be in the spotlight for another team, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like they needed to be able to hold it up, and I don't think there was any animosity between the guys at all.
Like LeBron and Kyrie, they just couldn't play together.
Exactly. It's like
Had to separate.
you can't have like like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird playing on the same team. You just can't can't have that happen. So I think that's kind of the reason why they kind of split apart. And I think with where they're at, because mid-season invitational for when the week we're recording this starts pretty soon, doesn't it? It starts like this Friday or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'm actually really excited to watch to see where everybody stands and who's going to get that invitational. But speaking of fantasy, I actually ended up with 1,028.5 points.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, you know who gave me a majority of those points?
Let's hear it.
What adapting?
No, Dignitas. I had Trix Tank and Ataraxia, man, on the team. And then I had who'd I had? I had Exalia and Captain Twig on the other front. And then I traded Lasbra for Big Man Tings, and that was the best trade I ever made. I love Lasbra to death, but man, he when he was on that team, I couldn't do it. Couldn't be supportive of him anymore.
And
I still can't believe Dicey's beating me.
That's funny.
I mean,
I'm just still mad about it.
Auto pick OP, man.
Draft is BS.
Yeah, let's talk about. They're like, yeah, we had to tone down the auto draft.
Yeah, auto draft OP. That's the whole meme there.
I'm not showing up.
They warned us too.
Yeah,
I'm so not showing up next year.
It's if you don't show up, you have a better chance of winning.
I know.
We're changing the rules in our friendly league. You're making a draft list and sending it in.
I was like the person who was in second place on my league was they ended up not being there and ended up in second place. Like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, dude, dicey.
I had a friend of mine drafted a fantasy football team for his brother because he couldn't show up to the draft. His team was so good that his brother never even put in any changes even on bye weeks, and it just blew the whole league out of the water. He won. He didn't even show up at the after party.
Nice.
We never even seen him. I'm starting to wonder if this guy, my friend, even has a brother.
There you go. That's the reason. You gotta do it like that. I mean, it's just be an enigma. No one ever knows. Be that silent owner, that silent winner.
Right.
Yeah. He was there, but he wasn't.
Chief advice, folks. Take it.
Can we take a quick little cut? I'm gonna go to the bathroom really fast. All right, I'll be right back.
Well, actually, we'll pop into the session progression here. So while he's off piddly diddling.
Wow, that's awkward.
Piddly diddling. Wow. What's he watching Pornhub in the bathroom?
Now in VR.
I'm sorry, folks.
We'll hear that. He'll hear that next week. He'll get a check.
How did they know?
Who knows what's going to make it through this week? I have no idea, folks. Guy's on a rampage.
Lord.
Yeah, settle down.
I'll tell you guys, I got pulled over this morning.
Oh, shit.
Fucking removed
Yeah, no, hold on.
Removed from my
Session of
car and
progression.
fucking handcuffed and put on the side of the fucking road.
For what?
Fucking for illegal lane change.
What the fuck?
Yes.
You pissed somebody off.
Dude, I have never been in trouble in my life. That's what I told the cop. I said, motherfucker, go run my name. I have never been in trouble in my entire life.
Right.
And you got me handcuffed on a guardrail on the side of the road.
How the hell did you end up?
I mean, did he read you your rights?
No, he just said he was detaining me for an investigation.
You can literally sue him or whatever.
Yeah,
you want to say it. However you want to do that. I don't know what technically.
It depends on the state. Too.
It depends on the
Each
state.
state's a little different.
That's true. Here, you'd be sitting nice on that case.
Yeah, here too.
Dude, I've had that happen to me. I was a witness to an accident and stopped to be a witness, and a cop showed up, and I was like a teenager, and he's like, "Where's the beer?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Where's the beer?" I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I was just a witness to this car accident here." And he accused me of fleeing from the scene with cases of beer. I'm like, no. You can ask this lady right here. I pulled over because I witnessed this accident. I tried to put my four-ways on, and they weren't working. So we've been talking while I've been messing with my fuse box here. Like, you just found me. And
I was running really far when I was standing in the hood of my car.
Nah. But then he wanted to look at my car. I'm like, okay, we go back to my trunk. Now, mind you, I had a system in my car at the time, and it was 2 old house speakers from the 1970s when shit was made solid. So, but I had them covered up with a blanket. So it just looks like a couple cases of beer under a blanket.
All right, I'm back. I am back, everybody.
That's all right. Just laugh with us. You'll be okay.
Okay.
So the cop is like, what's that? And I'm looking at this foot-long Bowie knife I had in the side of my trunk, and I'm like, I took the blanket and I pulled it off and covered up the knife and says, my speakers. He's like, He was all pissed. I ended up handcuffing the back of the squad car because I started getting lippy with him.
Oh.
The other cop got in the car. He's like, you just need to calm down with that. I'm like, I'm sorry. The way he's treating me just because my head's shaved and whoever ran from the scene had a shaved head. I get mistreated all the time because my head's shaved. You know, it was
the life of being bald.
Profiled for your shaved head. Is that
yes, dude, I was. As a teenager, I was profiled for having a shaved head.
I love it.
Much so. But, it's funny. Eventually they caught the other guy and he came back and had to let me go. I'm like, well, you could have just asked that lady. I was there we were there the whole time together.
Freaking guy. Did you tell him you're gonna follow? It's like, all right, so you're gonna follow me to work and explain this to my boss, right?
No, my boss showed up there. I called him.
Awesome.
Like, I'm handcuffed on the side of the road, bro. I got my iPhone in my hand, and I'm like, I say, call so and so, who's my boss's name, and I'm like, I'm handcuffed on the side of the fucking road. I'm like, you're gonna have to come here and get my car. I'm going to jail apparently, and you got to come bond me out. And she's like, okay, not a problem.
All right,
because you changed lanes.
Yes, dude. And like,
turn right around.
I passed him. I passed him going. He was sitting in the median clocking people. I wasn't speeding.
Yeah.
And like, I pass him. I like, all of a sudden I look at my mirror and this dude is like flying. Like, he's doing at least 100 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
Up on my ass. So I'm like, holy shit, man, this dude's up on my ass. Turn my turn signal on, get over. He slows down to nothing.
Yep.
And I'm like, damn, now I'm behind the semi. Now I gotta get the fuck back over again. So I turn my turn signal, get back over, and he fucking pulls me over.
Oh my gosh.
For trying to get out of his damn way.
Yeah, he said, why are you driving erratically? If I give you a field sobriety test now, would you pass it? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then the guy was like, please
Mr.
step out. Let me
100,
put
what are you
these nice
talking about?
bracelets on you.
I've had similar shit, but I didn't get pulled over for it because I just dropped down to like 30 and then 65 and been like, what now?
Gosh, yeah.
Well,
harassed me.
anyway,
The shit out of me.
that's what happens when you tune in to this week's Smite podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get moving on with this week's session of progression, though. I mean, Fuzzywuzy's still a little fuzzy-wuzzy on what just happened.
Yeah, I have no clue what occurred. All I heard
he
was...
just walked back into the...
I just heard handcuffs and police, and I was like, do tell.
Oh, no, that was the bachelor party last weekend.
Oh,
Totally
okay, yeah.
different
That makes total sense.
He just got back from piddly diddling himself in the battery.
I think we're going to... Who are we talking about this week? Apollo?
The best fucking hunter in the game,
Apollo?
bro.
Yeah, Apollo. Yeah, let's move on, folks. Moving on. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Ignore a guy all potty mouth over there.
Yeah, and you're sitting on the side of the road handcuffed. Everybody's driving 5 miles an hour looking at your face and shit.
You're like, what the fuck
So-
you looking at? You
How
never
you
make an
doing?
illegal lane change in front of a cop?
Right.
They don't like that shit.
Oh God,
Look
we
at
need to
me.
go. We need to keep going.
Look at me.
Oh, Lord.
All
That
right,
was a tangent.
Yuki, take it away. It's Apollo lore time.
Yep.
Calm us down. Everybody
so-
take a deep breath.
I would if you shut the fuck up.
Damn.
Called out.
I'm staring my mic down now, just so you know. All right, so this week we have Apollo from our Greek pantheon, and he's a hunter in Smite. He has some interesting lore behind him. So Apollo is the Olympic. No English.
Oh, yeah.
Apollo is the Greek god of the sun and light, music and poetry, healing and plagues, prophecy and knowledge, order and beauty, archery and agriculture. Cause why the fuck not?
Mm-hmm.
He's a greedy ass bitch.
Man of many talents, my friend, right there.
Woo.
Yep. So, and Apollo plays almost more than Zeus. Plays a big role in the culture of Greece and especially the Hellenistic period, because he's seen as the embodiment of everything that is Greek, that is a Greek man. You know, look at me, I can do my shit, I can gank some shit, and I do some other shit, and here we are. So he stands out. There were multiple festivals throughout the year that he was involved in because of this. And my brain just shut down again. So he's also portrayed as animals a lot. So he's got the python and some other animals that he's seen. He is the brother of Artemis, another hunter in our game, and they are legitimate. Just popped out the womb and started ganking shit with bows. I mean, that's like the gist of the story, is that they came out and just started shooting people down with bows, the two of them. So they're both known for archery. Apollo is also the god that gives the oracle at the Temple of Delphi the ability to tell the future, and because that he also plays a big role, because if you wanted to go to war in the Hellenistic period, you would go and seek approval to see whether or not you got approved to go to war at the Oracle of Delphi, which is a whole other thing, because where they think the Oracle, the Temple of Delphi was on top of an active volcano, and that they were huffing fumes, and that's how the Oracle got visions.
Heck yeah,
Just
man.
getting high as a motherfucker, tripping balls.
Yeah. Bro. All right, man. So, hear me out. Cobain, awesome. Who's Cobain? You'll know in 3,000 years. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
You'll figure it out, buddy.
So, and we got the whole Python, the symbolism there is when he was born, Hera got pissed the fuck off because Apollo was born of the human Leto and Zeus. Because, as we've all stated here a lot of times, pretty much anytime the Greek pantheon gets brought up, Zeus is a dick. Worst person in the world.
Yep.
And
So-
using it usually.
Yeah. So Hera's like, yo, screw this shit. Zeus, I'm going to try and kill one of your kids because this has worked out so well in every other story. And she sends a dragon python to pursue Leto and chase her down. And so Leto's running. And, I'm sorry. Leto was a Titanus. My bad. Different. Which is actually our first Titanus
Mm-hmm.
in mythology from anything we've covered.
Oh.
So Leto's running from this giant dragon python shit, going what the fuck, bro? And everyone's like, nah, we good. We don't want to deal with that. So Leto ends up delivering Artemis while balancing her body over an olive branch. And afterward, Artemis helped her mother deliver Apollo as well. And then Apollo feeds on the ambrosia, which is the nectar of the gods that gives him immortality. And in 4 days, Apollo grows to be a strong and ready to gank some shit. So he goes and beats the crap out of this dragon python super snake thing. It would be like Anaconda if it were a better movie.
Hey.
Sounds like he was drinking
I don't
giant's
know.
milk.
I'm just liking this idea of my kids growing up and being out the house in 6 days.
Right?
Damn.
No shit.
Hell, you can't get rid of him after 24 years. What are you talking
I
about?
don't know.
Dang.
Called out.
Dude, my math went astray here.
Yep. And the other big symbol for Apollo is the lyre, which we see in the game, because the whole music shenanigans, and that's kind of the basis of Apollo. Apollo and Artemis are super hunters, and fuck Zeus.
No, Zeus fucks is what you're supposed to say.
Don't be hating on Zeus, man.
It's Zeus fucks, not fuck Zeus. It's Zeus fucks.
Zeus wants you to bear my next child. Guys, it's not rape if I'm an animal. It's fine.
Right?
Yeah,
Totally
Zeus,
different.
Of course.
It's not rape if I'm a god, right?
She wasn't unwilling.
Just loving nature. That's all.
She was. It's like she wasn't unwilling when I was a horse, so it's okay. I mean,
oh Lord,
this is going downhill. Dan, our abilities, quick.
Yes.
Sounds like
yeah,
an
quickly.
Exilium show.
Can I please read a bit? Okay, passive. Audacity. Woo, shut up, everyone! Shut up. I'm reading. After 10 successful basic attacks, Apollo gains Audacity, attacking with both hands and increasing his attack speed by 100% for the next 5 basic attacks, hit or miss, he makes. The attack speed buff, obviously, as said, is 100%. It lasts 5 basics. His first ability, so beautiful.
Ugh, he is
Apollo
beautiful.
strums a single chord on his lyre. It's so
Liar.
beautiful it hurts.
Back up.
Like
It's
me.
liar.
It's liar.
Liar. You're a liar.
No, it's a liar. He's telling the truth.
It's so beautiful that it hurts, just like you guys. And all enemies
thank
in
you.
a long-range line take damage. The damage is 80 to 320 plus 80% of your physical power. That hurts. Cooldown 11 seconds. The cost is 70 scaling to 90 mana. His second ability, Serenade. Apollo uses his amazing voice to mesmerize all nearby enemies and bolster himself with additional physical protection. Any damage done breaks the Mesmerize effect. The Mesmerize is 1.1 to 2.3 seconds. The physical protection scales from 10 to 30. The buff lifetime is 5 seconds, radius 20, cooldown 17 to 13. And a note here, the Mesmerize only breaks from damage dealt by gods, and it does not say that.
Yeah, it is only by gods.
Yeah, so if you freeze them in, or mesmerize them in a tower or a minion wave, you can just stand there and taunt. I mean, laugh. I mean,
Walk
Moving
away.
on.
Do
Walk
anything
away
toxic.
politely.
Yes, walk away politely.
yeah, nothing toxic like that. Never do that. Apollo runs, or his third ability, the moves. I hate it when Apollo uses the moves on me.
Learned them from Zeus.
Apollo runs forward and slides on his knees, dealing damage, knocking aside all enemies, and adding a stack of Audacity for each enemy hit. At the end of the slide, the movement speed is decreased for enemies and increased for himself and allies. The damage is 70 to 250 plus 60% of your physical power. The movement speed buff and debuff is 15 to 25%. The buff duration is 2 seconds. Cooldown 15. Mana cost 70. And a note here, only the dash portion, not the AoE at the end, does damage. Even though the targeter kind of suggests both. His ultimate, Across the Sky. Apollo rides his chariot across the sky, choosing when to land, dealing damage every 0.2 seconds for 0.8 seconds as he lands. Enemies hit by the last tick of the landing will also be knocked up. Damage per tick, 70 to 170 plus 30% of your physical power. The radius is 20, cooldown is 110 seconds. It does not go down with points. The cost is 10 mana plus 40 mana per second. Notes, Apollo is untargetable but not invulnerable for the duration, so if you have a tick on you, you'll still die, but they won't be able to hit you again. It won't go on cooldown if you die before taking off, and the total damage for the whole ability is 280 to 680 plus 120% of your physical power.
So this is the best ability for when the Apollo accidentally walks out a fountain in an assault match and needs to go die.
Yeah,
it's just like ult away.
Or you have 4 Noxes in an Apollo, and you have taken all their Titan or all their towers already, and you just fly over the entire team and just explode out the damage. That's another way to do it.
That's another way to do it.
Yeah.
Or just, he's the most annoying god. He split pushes and then ults away as soon as you get there.
So while we have, once a number one Apollo in Smite, it has been, I have stated many times, and I will hold by this, not because I think he's necessarily bad. I don't really like how a lot of his abilities work on him as a hunter. So I've often stated they should rework him. And one of the things is that ult. The ult and Fuzzy, what do you think about this? The ult.
I think the ult's great.
So I think they should move. I think they should move the ult up to one full second, and you should have limited mobility while going down.
Oh no, not
a lot of movement. Like you're thinking a lot of movement. I'm talking a little bit of movement.
This is like telling me I need to take my anti off upwash. You're crazy.
No, and it's not where. No. I'm not talking about taking rid of it. I'm saying when you hit the ability to go down and do the damage, you're still going to land in that spot, but you can within an AOE around where you're going to land, target the damage.
Oh,
because it's so easy. It's so easy just to walk slightly out of the damage and then wait for him to land.
Well, then you play Paulo bad.
I don't like Apollo, so I don't play him at all.
Savage.
Because no joke, when this ability when the buff happened with the knockup, he became busted for a little bit, and the reason being is because that knockup is disgusting. If you're able to hit your ult right, so with an Apollo player, if you're able to, whenever you see the reticule down there. You can always target it out at an angle, and that's fine. You can always angle it, but if you angle it, they know the angle that you're coming from. So one of the tricks that I always did was I actually went straight down on them, because then they would never know where I'm landing. They don't know if I'm angling to the left or right or anything like that. And then I would be able to tell when I'm like in the air, oh, I see that they're moving backwards and they're going to move forward a little bit because they're going to want to get out of the way from that. So I'm going to move it a little bit forward and just come in at the angle right there. And I would hit him every time with every tick.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the premise of it. And then if you're able with that knockup, now you're less scared to be like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and land on a whole team and mez them and dash out. And I just did at that point. What is that? 680 plus a little bit of 250 or something like that. I mean,
20%.
Yeah. So you're probably doing at least like 1,000 damage if you play it right. If you play the cards right when you dash away to someone, and that could be a tank, that could be a squishy, and then you have that physical protection buff for 2 seconds. And a lot of people forget the tower diving potential of Apollo as well, because a thing that you can always do is not be scared of towers, because that mez at level 2 is pretty disgusting that you get 15% physical protection.
Yeah.
And towers towers a little bit later, like obviously fall off. So when you're at that like level 10, level 11 point, tower diving should be like a norm for you at that point, because you're literally tower diving, you're mezzing yourself, and you just dash away, and the tower does like maybe one hit on you, and that one hit does like maybe 30 damage. It's pretty stupid. I think he's a sleeper. I think there's a few things that do need to get changed. I think that his passive is stupid. It's like one of the best boxing passives in the game. And people just sleep on it. I think what the problem is now is that he's not played because there isn't enough items that synergize with him right now, because it used to be like a Devo's Gauntlet where you would stack it really quickly and then you'd get like an Ichabal and then you would just be an unstoppable monster. Then they nerfed Ichabal, or they made it a tier 3 item rather than like a tier 2 that it was, and they gave it a little bit of a buff, but it was just more expensive. And the early game Apollo was pretty good. But then he started doing the switch to Transcendence, and this meta switch to Transcendence for him is really making sure that he's ability based now. And I'm not sure if I like that, because I was always the auto attack based, so I would always either go like an Ichabal, Executioner, maybe a crit, or some just straight pin with just crazy amounts of attack speed. But with this new switch to more power based and more ability based, it's really interesting. I've played around with it a little bit, and it's just a different way to play him. It's not my style, but it's a different way to play him, and I kind of like it.
And he has a little bit of an issue with because he's got an ability that doesn't do damage. Like you're seeing that a lot. You're seeing hunters come out that have more damage in the kit. On more
like even Uluran, he's like almost a hunter basically, and his stim has a damage on the end of it, like
right. Yeah, and the people kind of sleep on the mez though. I don't think people realize, and they sleep on Apollo in general, because the mez itself giving you 30 physical protection. Let's say you play like I do, and you're maxing your 1 first, and you put a couple abilities in your ult. I immediately max my 2, because that mez for 2.3 seconds is only, I think, 0.7 seconds longer or shorter than Kumba Karna's full mez.
Yes.
That's dumb. And then on top of that, you're getting 30 physical protections. That's even more dumb. And then you're able to dash away. Like, it's pretty crazy.
I don't even mind just hitting the mez and then just making it my 1 secure, basically. Just for the protections to box, because then I'm just gonna win anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you time it just right when you land, you'll have your Audacity passive fully stacked, and then you land, you mez, and you just go pop, 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 bye, and then walk out. It's the way that you play him, and I think that I think a lot of other hunters counter him right now. And I think that's the reason why they might be. He's in a good place. Like, I don't think he needs to be buffed, nor he needs to be nerfed.
That's what I never said a buff or a nerf.
Yeah,
I
think
see his kit reworked a little bit.
I don't think he needs a kit rework. If there was anything about a kit rework, I probably would see if you would have to change maybe his passive a little bit and maybe make the passive into the mez. But at the same time, I think where his kit is now is pretty solid. If they were going to switch something, my only recommendation is people don't know this, but when you're ulting as Apollo, you actually move backwards a little bit right at the beginning of the ult. So so he slides backwards, and in that slide backwards, I've died to numerous abilities just because of that little slide backwards, and that needs to be fixed. Once that gets fixed, I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be back in the meta again. But until then, it's not as great.
So what do you like to build on your main man here? What do you do?
What do
What's
I do?
Your build path? Yeah, what does your build path look like?
So I play with a lot of things right now. Because this transition from, because you're seeing a lot of people play him in the mid lane, which he's a solid, if not one of the best mid laners, hunters right now. Probably better than AMC, and people don't realize it. If you're going to play him in the mid lane, you build him almost like an ability based hunter, kind of like how you would build like an Ullr. If you're gonna play him in the carry lane, you kind of want a little bit of sustain, you kind of want a little bit of this and that. I typically go Devo's Gauntlets with him in the carry lane, just because I like it. I like the sustain and like the boxing potential. And then a lot of people will go ahead and they'll get tier 1 Devo's Gauntlets, which is I think just Gauntlet. I don't remember what it's called. The Spike Gauntlet. Thank you, Brain. And then I'll go into full boots. Depending on who I'm going up against, I take a lot of lane consideration into play. So if I'm going up against someone who's going to attack faster than I am because they do have a stem like an Artemis or something like that, I might go ahead and grab attack speed boots. But a majority of the time, I'll typically go grab power boots, just because of the fact that the one gives you 80% of your physical power, and with fully stacked Devos and boots, it hurts. It's not a fun item. It's not a fun ability to get hit by. And especially with the 120% physical power of the ultimate with the power boots, it's pretty nutty. Typically, I'd follow up with that. I would typically follow up with an Odysseus bow right now. And then right after that, I'd go Exi, Kens, sell the Hunter's Blessing for probably for a Titan's Bane. And then if I'm feeling spicy, I do either last item crit, depending on what their kind of comp is running right now. If they have a Nemean line, if they have a Thorns or anything like that. If they do have that, then I typically will go something kind of like a defensive item, so whether that be a Magi's Blessing or a Mantle of Discord, depending on if they have a lot of CC and they're able to get to me and my beats aren't always consistently up. So I typically kind of run into either a Deathbringer or a Magi's and a Mantle of Discord as my last item after I sell my boots for that pot.
Right. Yeah, it's solid. How do you play against your main man here then?
So when you play against an Apollo, you need to beat him early by not letting him farm. Typically, what has always given me issues is good supports that have great CC. Whether that be an Athena, because an Athena taunt as I'm hitting my Audacity stacks and she's got 2 block stacks on her, half my damage is gone. It's like just disappeared, and I'm like, oh great.
Right.
A Sylvanas with that root every like I think 5 or 10% chance that you auto Sylvanas, you root him. That sucks. I mean, it's things that like have good CC in their kit, or like a Cerberus who's able to just melt you without your mez up. In that early level is really good. Once you kind of get into that boxing potential area, if an Apollo's behind, if they're smart and they're playing behind, they'll play under their tower the entire time because they have one of the best clears at level 5, at level 7, I think.
Right.
They just do. So they'll just sit under their tower and farm. And then the second that you rotate, he'll just farm the next wave and then ult over to mid lane where you're at. And you're just like, well, shoot, you were like over there just 2 seconds ago.
Yep.
That's the annoying part about Apollos. And another annoying part about it is if you do go that pin route, you can do exactly what someone said earlier, which is just split push the entire game, and no one can catch you ever. I think the best thing that you can do is try to do like a split push fight. If you're in comps, so I only recommend doing this in comps because it happens very rarely for me. But so a good example is I think a week ago I was playing Apollo in a ranked game. And I'm talking to the guys, and they're like, man, you suck, blah, blah, blah. Like, you picked Apollo, worst carry. And I'm like maybe 1-0-3, and they're playing really far behind, and we're 30 minutes in the game. Everybody kind of just spawned off of their team fight, and I'm just split pushing, and I grab a Phoenix. I look at the map, and I realize after this Phoenix, I'm like, they're not anywhere on the map. I bet they don't have wards in their own jungle. I'm going to fly in a strategic way and land on the Fire Giant. So I steal Fire Giant. And not only do I steal Fire Giant, I mez everybody within the pools, and the pool tick damaged them, and then I just won and got a triple kill and just pushed up the team and won. I mean, that's kind of how you play it. It's a you have to realize how much damage you're outputting before you decide to go in or not, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I think he's just a sleeper pick, especially in the mid lane. I would be shocked if not a lot of people, if we don't see a lot of mid lane Apollo coming out next split in the SPL, and also in you'll see it a lot in your ranked games too, by far.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you always see wonky shit in ranked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I wouldn't think this is wonky anymore, but just because of how
that's true.
All of the power off his scaling that he gets. So if you're building ability based, it hurts. I mean, I saw, what was it? There was one time I was playing Apollo crit at his Audacity stack, and I was at 2.5, and I had Kin Size, Executioner, and a fully stacked Rage and Deathbringer, and I hit someone for 1400. I mean, it hurts. it just hurts, and you just kind of look at it and go, well, that's fun. Really, the big matchup that hurts him the most is Jingwei. And because Jingwei, like Jingwei and Hachiman right now are really good against him, just simply because Jingwei has that path. She has Apollo Ultimate as a passive.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And then Hachiman is just able to, oh, you're going to hide under your tower? Oh, I'll just make my auto attack the size of a raw snipe and just hit you. It's that those kind of gods really counter against him. And then, of course, anybody that has any sort of CC. Because if you can stop him in the Audacity form, all of his damage is gone. You just like a good place to Ymir freeze when Ymir freeze is like 1.5 seconds or something like that, and his beads are down, and he's got full Audacity stacks. You're just like, well, there goes all your damage, and I'm gonna beat you now. Yeah. So that's the ways to beat him are just CC and Jingwei and Hachiman and Kronos. But
yeah. So most important question obviously is best skin.
Okay.
Although I'm looking at it, man, he hasn't gotten a skin in ages.
Yeah, don't get me started on my rant about Apollo needing a new skin. Don't also get me started about Apollo getting a reskin, kind of like how Bacchus got and how a lot of these gods are getting. He needs a reskin. He also needs a freaking dance emote. He doesn't have a dance emote in the game.
Yeah,
and
That's crazy.
He's literally been there since like day 2 of Smite, and he doesn't have a dance emote. And I'm like, what? So my personal favorite is definitely the Elite Agent skin.
Yeah.
because you're just like
Yeah.
007 with the silenced pistols and everything like
Requesting
that.
me back.
Exactly.
Apollo! Apollo!
It's beautiful. And then I have to say, like, the next one is the Team Solo Mid, which because that was the skin that he got when Season 0 World Champions.
Yeah.
And that one's not available anymore. And one of my best friends has it, and he's
it's available actually.
Is it still available? Is it off of a chest now?
You the Enigma chests and the daily, like, I got a lot of those skins that you can't direct purchase anywhere or get out of chests come up in the daily bundles.
Interesting. Well, you learned something new. I didn't think you could get it anymore, but
nope. So you just got to spend a shitload of money.
I don't have that kind of money. Like,
yeah, him and Geb, because Geb's gotten a new skin when Terror released.
Yeah.
That's his last new skin.
Well, then what's my third favorite skin of him is the Curse Voice skin. And I'm so happy that when cross-platform happened, I was able to play my Curse Voice skin of Apollo on Xbox, because everybody was like, "How did you get that skin?" And I was like, "Bro, I've been around. I've been around since 2014 of Smite. Let's calm down."
Yeah,
I mean,
it was like there was a glitch for a while with the Zeus where on PlayStation you could use a skin booster and play the Xbox Zeus skin.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
Yeah, it's great. It's so much fun to be like, when you have skin wars with people, it's like, oh, do you have this skin or do you have this skin? And then you kind of just like realize that if you've been around since, like, I think I've been playing since 2013, 2014, like late 2013, early 2014. So I've been playing for, oh my God, 6 years now. Oh wow, I feel old.
Oh wow.
But I want to say 6 or 7 years now. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I've just now started like getting back into the groove of it, because I've taken like year-long breaks from the game before, so it's been a lot of fun just kind of going back to the skin and go, oh yeah, I have that skin. Oh yeah, I have that skin. Oh, I don't have that skin, but I can unlock that skin, so it's fine. Like, just getting the exclusive skins that you can't get anymore, like the Curse Voice one, unless you have the team booster, the skin booster or whatever. Just flexing that out, because it's like, yeah, I was around when Curse was around. What are you going to do about it?
Me and Guy, it's like, me and Guy are both like, we spent this much money on this game. We don't want to talk about it.
There you go. You're paying the SPL players their wage right there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Wraithen owes
somebody's
me.
got to do it.
You guys are welcome.
What?
All right.
What? Huh? What?
We got to wrap it up. We're getting close to that scrim time.
Yeah, we got some games going on tonight here, so I think we will start to wrap things up here. So first off, Fuzzywuzy, it was a great time to have you on the show tonight.
Well, thank you so much for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's been a riot.
You've definitely expressed a lot of fantastic knowledge, and we always appreciate that, because, a lot of times we're just a bunch of knuckleheads around here, apparently.
Apollo still needs a kit rework.
You can shut up. Apollo is okay. Don't touch my baby.
He was relevant when a broken item was on Hunters. Get over
okay,
it.
no. He's been relevant before Golden Blade, and he's still relevant today. Dang it.
Leave Apollo alone.
People say the same thing about landlines. Doesn't mean they're right.
Oh my gosh! I'm just getting
so
roasted.
You play ADC, right? You play ADC for Dallas?
No, I play solo for Dallas. I'm playing completely out of my element. I play in the solo lane for Dallas.
Okay. Dang, I was hoping that you two were going to face each other and you were going to pick Apollo.
Oh
my god!
If for some odd reason.
Apollo solo here.
When I play split push, I will demand odd for me to play solo Apollo, and I will never waste an ult unless I'm ulting Dan specifically.
Shit!
I will literally ult to your lane in the duo lane, laugh at you, and as I'm teleporting back to the solo lane,
I'm ready.
You will be my sole target.
I will be taunting while backing while I hear Apollo.
Well, that skin's banned because of the one doesn't necessarily go off all the way. So unfortunately, you won't hear that band because the audio key for that one. That's a part of the reason why if you play him in ranked, if you use the secret agent skin, half of his kit doesn't have sound for some odd reason. So
I've noticed that he's very elite, honestly. If he's that silent.
Oh, he is silent. I mean,
that makes sense.
It's pretty painful. When all of a sudden you see him do the animation, but you don't see the animation, and then you look at your health bar and you're like, why am I red? What hit me? and then all of a sudden Audacity just pops you and you're like, oh, I'm dead. Okay, cool.
Shit. So anyway, Fuzzywuzy, how can people track you down out there, follow you, keep tabs on you, stalk you, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so you can always follow me at it's at Chris with a capital C, capital M, and then Hurt, capital H. I'm always I'm relatively on Twitter a lot. I'm actually streaming more now on at twitch.tv Fuzzywuzy01. And right now I'm actually giving away 2 tickets to HRX for subscribers.
Oh shit!
So yeah, I've got.
All right, so where do I apply for that? Because I pro and didn't get to go last year.
Yeah, where do I sign up?
you go to twitch.tv-Fuzzywuzy01. You hit that little follow button, and then you hit that little subscribe button. Once you hit that little subscribe button, and I see you on there, then you're in the contest. And then at 75 subscribers, we're at 50 for the 2 HRX tickets. So 2 tickets will be given away at 50. And then I have a third ticket to give away at 75. But with the third ticket at 75, you also get a free room at the house that I'm staying at Atlanta.
Shit.
So yeah, that'll be pretty fun. So
you get to share a bed with Fuzzywuzy.
Yeah, you get to cuddle up with the bear.
There you go.
You get to figure out if he really is fuzzy.
There you go. But yeah, that's the only way you guys can find me around. I'm nowhere else.
Ever.
I mean, I do, as you guys said, I do cast Exilium every now and again. It just, with scheduling, it's kind of weird, and because I'm in the process of moving right now, that streaming's kind of going to be a little bit on hold until I get kind of settled in. But once